بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So in this video will define Sufism, right? And we'll discuss why it is important again. So in the previous few videos on this topic, we've talked about why we need Sufism. I've discussed why I think Sufism is important. It's important to revive Sufism is because we are, as an ummah, we're moving towards the direction of a pit that we should not be moving to it, and that is leading to extremism. And our youth eventually is getting decoupled from religion because of these things. So, and again, this is not what I'm going what I'm going to say in this video, and the importance of Sufism is not my own theory or something, right? This is the experience of this ummah from from like almost the beginning, right? Sufism has been part of Islam, and Sufism has improved the lives of millions of people. Are prominent scholars, right? Scholars who have made significant contributions to this religion in terms of knowledge and devotion, right? Are overall Sufis, right? Scholars like Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, Junaid Baghdadi, rahimahullah, um, uh, 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 fighters like Salahuddin Ayyubi, rahimahullah, and like scholars from subcontinent like Shah Waliullah Muhaddis Dahli, rahimahullah, Hazrat Mujaddid, rahimahullah, they were all Sufis, right? And people still accept them as standards and still learning from their knowledge. So now Sufism has become a bid'ah, and everyone is like skeptical about it, right? So again, there we have the option of to go towards two extremes, right? And people say, oh, Sufis do these bad things and stuff like that. And well, I say, okay, then if you go to the other extreme, there extremism where there people kill people, right? Like there, you can get examples of the two. You don't want to go towards the Kharijis also, right? The Kharijis, they're the it's too grim over there, like what happens over there, if you think that this extreme is bad. So I'm not saying that. So we should go towards the Sufis extreme. Sufi deviant Sufism is also, I've talked about that. It's also not a good thing. But our scholars who were Sufis themselves have criticized both extremes, right? And so we have to stay away from the two extremes, but we should not go to the level that we start denying Sufism, right? Because it's been a part of an integral part of our history. So let's look at the overall picture, right? Our religion consists of fundamentals, right? The fundamentals, the aqidah. So this is the most important part, right? This is what Imam Hanifa called al-fiqh al-akbar, right? The most important part of fiqh. And so if your aqidah is, if you have not learned aqidah, I would suggest learn it from a scholar, from a teacher. Alhamdulillah, my sheikh has like 100 lectures on aqidah, more than 100. If you know Urdu, you should definitely go check it out. And so if you don't know aqidah, you're missing a huge chunk of the understanding of this religion, right? And so the first step is to make sure that you know aqidah. We obviously learn worshipping from our parents, but typically, our previous generation, they have ignored this religion, so they're not very aware of aqidah. So we should learn it from scholars, right? And obviously the methods to worship. So we have then the mandatory prayers. That is an important part of this the important second part of this religion, like the salah, the zakah, Sawm and Hajj, right? Those are mandatory prayers. And then we have the worship, right? Optional worships like nawafil, right? So this is where the freedom starts coming in. This is where religion starts becoming flexible. You have the option to pray as much as you can, based on your own condition. You can pray, for example, 10 rakah after every maghrib. No one's going to stop you as long as you don't impose it as being mandatory, right? So that's where you have freedom. And then even beyond that, there are permissible things, right? Things that are permissible that no one's gonna stop. They're not directly coupled with religion, but they can be coupled with religion if you have the right niyyah. For example, if you're bodybuilding, you're gonna say, okay, if your niyyah is that, okay, I'm gonna bodybuild and I'm gonna do something for the ummah. And the Prophet ﷺ, in a hadith said that a stronger mu'min is better than a weaker one. Because of that, if you have that niyyah, then your bodybuilding becomes an ibadah, right? So these permissible things, They become ibadah if you have the right niyyah. Another example that my sheikh, for example, gave that that if you're, for example, working on you're working on a computer, and your niyyah is that, okay, I'm going to do something, I'm going to contribute to science and technology using this computer. The use of that computer has become ibadah, right? So if your niyyah is right, you can make things a ibadah, and you can be in like 24/7 worshipping state. This is why Islam is an easy religion. You can do ibadah if you have the right niyyah. So, and this is where Sufism comes in, right? Sufism is like is the use of these permissible things, and these permissible things evolve with time. When science and technology makes progress, we know that we understand human psychology better. You can use that to improve devotion towards religion, right? So I give my friends usually an example. Like, for example, if you're unhealthy, right, you go to a chiropractor or like a doctor, and the doctor says, okay, you have to run a mile or walk a mile every day, right? So then no one's going to stop. If you're doing dhikr during that running or walking, no one's going to say that it's bid'ah, right? And so using that, using human psychology, what if you improve your health by running or jogging or walking, that's an ibadah. If you're doing it for to be able to uh, pray better, right? If you're doing it for that niyyah, then your exercise becomes ibadah. For example, if you're before Ramadan, if you're doing knee exercises so that you can stand for Taraweeh longer, right? Then that exercise becomes ibadah, right? So that's the point where we have when we have freedom, right? We can use that freedom to improve our devotion, and this is how I define Sufism as the practice of bringing effectiveness in your worship and devotion in the fundamentals of the religion using these permissible methods. So that's why Sufism is not bid'ah. Like the thing sometimes, yeah, Sufis overdo things, right? But they don't do it as an ibadah. Like Sufis suggest different practices to their students. And that is, for example, breathing practice is a very common practice the Sufis suggest. And that is an important, that is like, it's pure like, a practice that improves focus, right? But then they couple that with dhikr, and that's it. Like it's like coupling running with dhikr. It's just nothing else, right? And so therefore, it's not. These things are not bid'ah. These are permissible things that the Sufis use using human psychology. And this is one of the beautiful things my Shaykh Hafidahullah said, that the extent to which Sufis have understood human psychology has no example in human history, right? And if you learn about Sufism, you'll see how deeply our Sufis understand human psychology. And so that's what my experience is. Alhamdulillah, I've been a Sufi for a while. I've been in Sufism. Has nothing to do with modifying your aqidah, modifying your way of worship. It's going to improve your devotion. It's just using these practices, and like how do you control your anger, right? How do you control like your thoughts, right? These things are all problems of human psychology, and in a lot of cases, you will see that if you're able to control your thoughts, the way you think, if you're able to control your greed, your anger, you'll be obviously a better Muslim, right? And so that's the whole point. And this is what these are things that our Sufi, our mashayikh have learned through years of experience, and they are effective. You can read Imam Ghazali and all these scholars. They are super effective and to improve devotion towards religion. And so this is the point. I'm going to inshallah make more videos on examples of examples of practices that are that Sufis use to improve their devotion towards religion. So jazakallah for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.